Joining the show is a woman who is vying to become the first black Bachelorette, Miss Misee Harris. How you doing, Misee?
I'm doing wonderful. How's everyone doing?
We are doing fantastic. Well, I'm curious how the selection process went. You go to this casting call. How long did it take for them to actually say, we want you on the show?
About 3 months. I started June 6th and then June, July to September. And by then, they have flown you out to LA to the finals casting weekend. Initially, you go, you fill out this big thing of paperwork. You pretty much sell your life to NZK Productions and tell them everything you've ever done, including if you've ever parked in a handicapped spot when going into Walmart. From there, they decide if you're going to get to go to the second round. And the second round merely is you sending in another 25 pictures of yourself and filling out a whole nother packet of information. And then round 3 is when they send you out to LA. And they only send about 75 individuals out to LA amongst all 10,000 or so people who have applied.
Do they pay for the flight?
They do. They're really nice. That's
first
the
class?
Thing. Oh, no, not first class. Darn. The whole Bachelorette franchise. They were nothing but nice to me the entire time. So I have nothing bad to say about them. I think that it's just the process and the fact that there hasn't been many minorities on the show, that it really doesn't urge African Americans or any other minorities to come out for the casting calls. And so until that changes, I think the show is going to remain the same.
Your cause is frightening because I agree with it, but then you have to marry someone at the end. I mean, couldn't you just run for office? Isn't that less of a commitment? Because, at the end, now I have a husband. I mean, is that the ultimate goal?
And of course, that's the ultimate goal. And of course, I'm a huge fan of the show. But I figured it's just a good of an alternative to meet someone as it is for me to be at Kroger and for some hot man to ask me to use my Kroger Plus card. I figured it's just as simple. At the same time, show African American women do know how to act on reality television, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of other reality shows where African Americans were the lead role, and they didn't really do the best to portray African Americans in a positive light. So I hope to change that as well.
You mean Flavor Flav? They're not representing your people that well? Yeah. Well, Misee, let's say you make it onto the show. You're the Bachelorette. And then you show up there at the mansion, and they start walking out of the limousine, and the first guy's white, and the second guy's white, and the eighth guy's white. What if they're all white dudes?
You mean like my dental school class?
Exactly.
It wouldn't be something that's unusual to me. I'm pretty used to being the only black girl. I'm the only black resident in my residency class, and actually the first African-American woman to ever even complete this residency at the University of Kentucky. I remember being the only little ballerina with little brown legs, having to wear little white pantyhose at recitals. With that being said, I'm open to dating outside of my race.
Yes.
I always have been. Mm-hmm.
You're a lot like Rosa Parks.
A lot hotter, though.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
She's a lot more courageous and bold than I am, though. I just started a social media campaign. I think that her mission was a lot harder than mine.
Well, first of all, feel free to let Rob and Joe into your inner circle. You can trust us. We're certainly somebody you want to attach yourself to.
Yes, I'm excited because you all are people who I will definitely love to keep updated. You are some positive guys, I tell you.
Well, our producer, he is a uber Bachelorette fan, just like it sounds like you are or were or whatever.
I still am.
Robbie is actually in a Bachelor fantasy league.
He is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
He's winning, by the way. He's destroying. Tell her some of the criteria, Robbie.
Every time a Bachelorette has a sob story, every time she cries, every time she gets a kiss, if she advances, everything is worth points.
How far ahead are you?
Nobody can catch me at this point. I had two of the final 3 women on my team.
And you mean you didn't look at Reality Steve?
No, I did not.
Well, then you are doing a great job.
I know you're a dentist, so I'm imagining that teeth are important to you. Let's say you meet a guy on the show, you have a strong attachment with a guy. He's everything you ever want, but he has horrible teeth. Is that a deal killer?
She's not going to. Come on.
Well, you know what? Oral hygiene is definitely important to me. I don't think that I would be kissing too many guys that had gingivitis or advanced periodontal disease anytime soon, especially if he had some missing teeth. I have several oral surgeon friends that can do some implants.
What if he refuses to floss? He just won't floss under any circumstance.
Exactly.
No one with missing teeth can get a regular chick. This is a super hot chick. Who's a dentist? Come on, Rob. What kind of a question is that?
It's a great question.
I actually have a dental question. Is that inappropriate?
Ask away.
I drink a ton of coffee. I mean, a ton. Literally all day long, every day. Do I have to go to get my teeth whitened? It's like thousands of dollars. Is there anything else I can do other than stop drinking coffee? That's not enough.
No. You can actually start drinking coffee with a straw, because the problem with coffee is that people tend to put it in their mouth and it coats their teeth, and that's where the staining is coming from. It's extrinsic staining. It's on top of the enamel, and it really does help a lot with the staining.
That's a great solution, but I'm not going to do that.
You're going to look like an idiot, and I'm going to make fun of you.
Ridiculous. For me to drink coffee through a straw, I've never even seen that. Have you?
I've never seen that.
I recommend that, and the women don't seem to have a problem with it, but men seem to think that that's a little bit funny, and they don't want to be mistaken as homosexual or anything. So I think that they don't feel comfortable drinking out of a straw.
Everyone already thinks Joe's gay, so it's fine.
No, what about a homosexual bachelor? Has that ever been considered?
No, but with America being the way it is now, and if reality TV really wants to protect the real world, maybe there should be a homosexual bachelor, bachelorette eventually. It's supposed to be so real, yet they rarely ever show real world. For instance, if I'm ever casted as the Bachelorette, I want to go on some normal dates. Take me to a football game, basketball game, and I don't really want to fly in a helicopter. That is so annoying when I see those helicopter rides every season, and they can't hear each other, and nobody really likes helicopters, let's be honest.
But you can't be the first black bachelorette, and then the first date you're going to a basketball game. I mean, they're just going to make fun
That's
of you.
too stereotypical.
Yeah.
But she's right, because everything else is downhill. What happens when the show's over, and then you're like, hey, you want to go to Applebee's? And they're like, well, what happened to the helicopter? Right. Gotcha.
Exactly. You've been going off into the middle of a mountain with a chair and table, and then there's a chef right there. But whatever happened to TGI Fridays? I mean, I don't know who has money to hire a private chef every weekend and take me on an amazing date, but I definitely don't think that's a requirement for a man nor a date. I'm a really laid back kind of girl. And so ultimately I'm looking for a really laid back kind of guy that doesn't feel like we have to go to 5-star restaurants every night.
Well, here's a question for you, Misee. And if this is uncomfortable for you, feel free to just to back off. But I generally think that women today and men today aren't normally going to get engaged to someone. They're going to have sex first. So I'm wondering, are these women on these shows and these men, are they actually having sex in the fantasy suite?
I have no idea because I've never been in a fantasy suite. However, I don't think there's any way that someone has been in the fantasy suite for all these 25 seasons and not gotten some by now.
You would think, but wouldn't you think that you wouldn't propose or say yes to a man until you've at least had some sort of intimate chemistry?
In the real world today, who really does get married without having sex or something like that? And especially when you're in that type of setting, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are having sex on The Bachelor, Bachelorette. And I say that because they do make sure that you have a thorough health history performed before you get to move on in the casting process.
So for the record, you're willing to have sex with all 25 men on this year?
No way. Absolutely not.
She was smart, Rob. You asked her if she thought it was important, and then she changed it to what she thought happened on the show in general.
She's very good.
Elusive. She's funny. She's like, I want a laid-back guy. I'm laid back. Laid back, and that you're starting a social media campaign to be on The Bachelorette. It doesn't seem laid back, but
now,
maybe we define that differently. Rob has a hot black girlfriend currently, so he actually knows his way around that culture. Is that the right way?
So, Rob, you understand then the black hair situation.
Oh, I totally understand the black hair situation. It took a while, Misee, but I finally have it down.
That can be an awkward situation. You know, I remember when I was dating a white guy before, and he used to say, why do you put that crazy rag on your head at nighttime? And why do you not like to get your hair wet? And I just told him, If you want me to look like the Jackson 5 in the morning and have a big afro, well, then you know what? I won't put this crazy thing on my head. But if you want my hair to look really straight and pretty, well, then sorry, buddy. It's going on.
Yes, I had to learn about the hair, and my girlfriend had to learn about the white penis situation, which was very traumatizing for her as well.
You said you wear the shower cap when you're intimate. I mean, if it's too late, you have to have the shower cap on. Rob, have you and Tawanda ever been intimate while she was wearing that shower cap?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's not going to stop me. I mean, come on.
You know what? I actually have decided in the past that I was not going to wear the nightcap if any intimacy was going to go on because, I mean, realistically, you kind of look like a Ninja Turtle or you're about to go rob a bank when you have that thing on. And
I'm turned on by those things.
That's the prettiest. Yeah. So I have no problem taking that off.
I'm really pulling for you, Misee. I think you got a great chance at doing this. Yeah. You're beautiful. You're smart. You got the Southern accent. It's sexy.
Yeah.
Like
the reason that she has the best chance now is that if they don't pick her, they're racist. You follow me?
Yes.